And now with the reality show, millions of people around the world have come to see that homestead as kind of a symbol of passing the old ways down to the next generations.
Atz Kilcher has long been admired as a rugged Alaskan frontiersman, a symbol of strength and resilience in one of the harshest places on Earth. Yet behind that image lies a side few expected. Something recently uncovered in his barn stunned fans and the community alike. What was discovered that no one saw coming? And how does it tie to his recent hardships and legal troubles? As we explore this revelation, prepare for a story of hidden pain, mystery, and the unforeseen costs of living in both wilderness and spotlight. The shocking barn discovery. News recently broke that investigators found something disturbing inside Atz Kilcher's barn, and it sent shockwaves through his fans and the wider Alaska community.
It turns out Discovery, I guess Alaska is sort of a hot topic right now. Discovery was up in Homer, Alaska, where my family's from. And
for years, Atz had kept this part of his property off limits, fueling curiosity about what secrets he might be hiding. His reluctance to let anyone near the barn only added to the mystery, making the discovery all the more astonishing. Although Atz lived much of his life in the public eye as a caste member of Alaska, the last frontier, this private space seemed impenetrable until now. Observers were stunned not just because of the unusual nature of the findings, but because they clashed so sharply with the quiet, rugged image many had of Atz. The discovery has raised questions about who he really was behind closed doors and what might have driven him to conceal such things. Authorities described the barn's contents as unthinkable, hinting at issues that go beyond simple eccentricity or hobby. Yet, details remain tightly held, making the full gravity of the situation something to be revealed as the story unfolds. What makes this revelation even more heartbreaking is that it surfaced during an already troubled period of Atz's life. Long admired for his strength and resilience, Atz appeared to be battling alone against a mounting series of hardships. The barn's secret seems to symbolize this hidden pain, a private world at odds with his public persona. Fans who once saw him as unstoppable now grapple with the shock of how much was concealed. The intensity of reactions from fans, media, and residents reflects how deeply this discovery shakes the foundation of what people thought they knew. To some, it represents a hard truth behind the glamorized life of wilderness survival. Others fear it might mark a turning point that could redefine Atz's legacy on the show and within his community. This complex mix of admiration, sorrow, and confusion sets the stage for a story that is far from simple. Atz's connection to the barn was more than just that of an owner. He was often seen spending long hours inside, cut off even from close family members. This unusual attachment raised eyebrows, and it's now clear it was a sign of deeper struggles. The barn was a secluded refuge, but what happened inside has now triggered serious questions and investigations. What was once a silent mystery has exploded into public scrutiny, urging us to reconsider everything. Even those closest to Atz seemed unaware of what was hidden in that very part of his property. His family and friends have expressed their own shock and confusion, revealing how well Atz disguised his private turmoil. This layer of secrecy around the barn adds another emotion-filled dimension to an already intense situation. It becomes clear that the discovery is just the beginning of a much larger story waiting to be understood. Yet, beneath that exterior, he was wrestling with struggles that few fully saw, challenges that would soon come into sharper focus. This background helps illuminate why the barn held a weighty significance and what it might symbolize about his journey. Atz's struggles behind the scenes. Atz Kilcher's public persona has always been that of a fearless wilderness expert, a man who could handle any challenge Alaska threw at him. On screen, he appeared rock solid, someone who thrived on hard work, family, and living close to nature. Fans loved watching his dedication to his kin and his rugged independence. Yet behind this strong facade, Atz was quietly enduring a storm of personal difficulties that few ever suspected. Reports surfaced that Atz had been grappling with a series of misfortunes that seemingly came one after the other, eroding his strength and resolve. From health setbacks to legal entanglements, these challenges clouded his once bright public image. The very toughness he projected made it harder for Atz to reach out for help, as he was determined to remain a symbol of strength. This created a lonely battle, where his vulnerabilities remained hidden from the fans and even his family. According to rumors and observations by followers of the show, Atz's behavior changed noticeably over recent seasons. Where he once was composed and confident, he became withdrawn and distracted. This shift didn't go unnoticed by attentive viewers who saw a different side of the Kilcher star. Concern grew as people feared he might be on the brink of a breakdown, caught in a spiral that no one could easily stop. Some insiders suggested that Atz's external calm masked deeper emotional scars that he kept far from public view. Behind the cameras, his world was fracturing under pressure. The pressure from legal problems, health issues,
But being told you have cancer is a scare nonetheless.
and the demands of a reality show lifestyle. This hidden suffering is often invisible to fans who only see curated moments. Atz's case vividly illustrates how public figures can carry pain quietly, far from the audience's gaze. Legal matters associated with both work and personal life were one of Atz's greatest struggles. He portrayed himself as a tough man who could stand on his own, but the legal matters were always there, bringing him down and possibly ruining his reputation. The battles between him and the law attracted unwanted attention and made the media scrutinize him even more, thus isolating him even more. The audience kept on questioning how someone who looked that strong could be involved in such a mess. Family ties were also a mix of good and bad during these times. Atz was very devoted to his family, but it seemed like the burdens he carried pushed him farther away. The man who was famous for putting family-first values seemed sometimes to sink into himself, keeping his pain away from those closest to him. It was a painful contradiction that made the man behind the myth of Alaska, the last frontier, even more complicated. The hidden hardship lasted for a while, which then became a major turning point for Atz's life and career. It was not only his personal issues, but the show participation and his lifestyle that were affected as well. The weakness in his persona foreshadowed an unavoidable confrontation, one that would soon reveal itself in surprising ways and clarify everything. While we think of these problems, a new chapter in Atz's story begins with a tragic accident that really affects him. This incident was not only a physical turning point, but also a factor that increased the emotional and mental difficulties he had to deal with. It is impossible to fully understand the barn's secrets without first seeing how this near tragedy altered the course of his life. The near-fatal accident. Atz Kilcher's life took a harrowing turn when he suffered a near-fatal fall while hiking at Otter Cove, an incident that left fans and family holding their breath. What was meant to be a routine day of enjoying the Alaskan wilderness quickly turned into a nightmare as Atz slipped off a cliff nearly 40 feet high. The severity of the fall shocked many, who feared the worst for the beloved star. The injuries Atz sustained were severe and life-threatening. He broke his arm, punctured his lungs, fractured his ankles and hips, and cracked several ribs. This cascade of trauma required immediate medical attention and prolonged hospitalization. For a time, survival itself was a question.
For me, since I've done it all my life, infinitely easier.
And the physical damage left him struggling with basic mobility and daily function. Despite the grave situation, Atz's resilience emerged once again as he fought through months of painful recovery. Yet, the road back was long and difficult, requiring a mental as well as physical healing process. For someone known for his independence and ruggedness, relying on others and confronting vulnerability was enormously challenging. His fight to regain strength was as much an internal battle as it was a physical one. The circumstances of the accident added another layer to the story. Atz was hiking with a close friend, Mark, when darkness unexpectedly fell, causing him to lose his footing. The urgency of the moment is underscored by the fact that Mark's quick thinking, using a satellite phone to call for help, likely saved Atz's life. Rescue by helicopter transport was critical for his survival, emphasizing just how precarious the situation was. The accident's aftermath rippled far beyond Atz alone. His wife, Jane, was not informed until late at night, and the shock devastated her deeply. The sudden news of such a severe injury brought a wave of emotion and worry for the entire family. Publicly, Jane shared news of the accident with fans, who in turn showered Atz with support and concern. While Atz eventually shared updates via social media, including touching posts and hospital images, the emotional toll was clear. He admitted the accident humbled him, revealing a side rarely seen by the public. What happened inside the barn has to be seen through this lens of hardship to be fully understood. Legal battles and controversies. Atz Kilcher's life became increasingly entangled in legal troubles following his accident, adding new strain to his already fragile recovery. One major case stemmed from his fall at the Otter Cove Resort, where he sustained life-threatening injuries. Atz sued the resort for $100,000, arguing that inadequate safety warnings and deceptive practices contributed directly to his accident. He claimed the resort failed to provide proper precautions for visitors, placing him in unnecessary danger. The resort firmly denied liability, insisting Atz's own negligence caused the fall. They argued he acted carelessly during the hike and that the resort should not be held responsible. The dispute escalated into a tense legal battle, drawing public attention and adding emotional pressure during a period when Atz was already confronting physical and personal struggles. The controversy did not end there. Soon after, Atz became involved in a wildlife hunting incident that sparked further scrutiny. During a black bear hunting trip in a remote Alaskan region, Atz and a group used a helicopter to reach the hunting grounds, an action strictly prohibited under Alaska's wildlife laws, which ban aircraft for spotting, tracking, transporting hunters, or moving game. These regulations are designed to uphold fair chase ethics central to Alaskan hunting culture. The incident came to light after an anonymous report to authorities. An investigation revealed the helicopter had been contracted for filming purposes, complicating the matter with questions of responsibility between Atz, the production crew, and the show itself. Consequently, Atz was charged with the use of illegal hunting methods, and at the same time, the production company that had made the show faced charges for the use of unlawful methods in the practice of their art. The story broke that Wilma TV, the production company in question, had given the camera person assigned to the set a directive to keep the helicopter company in the dark about the shooting. The medic, upon learning of these things, quit and tipped off the Alaska State Troopers, which set off the investigation. Atz's lawyer tried to present the case in such a manner that it was primarily the realities of the TV show that made it untenable. He contended that the filming was all just a big fake and that no bear had been hunted or slain. He raised a point about the legal act going on in one place and the camera capturing a different thing going on. Although he was very cooperative and had a sober attitude in court, Atz was fined $1,500, and Wilma TV was fined a much bigger sum of $17,500. The whole legal issue turned out to be a real disappointment and confusion for a lot of fans, particularly in light of Atz's imminent recovery from the accident. It was very hard to tell how the scandals would impact his position on the show and his relationship with the audience. The Discovery Channel, which transmits Alaska, The Last Frontier, decided not to speak on the matters at all, distancing itself from the legal issue. Nevertheless, Atz's noticeable absence from the show and the silence on his part on social media raised worries among the fans. This series of events revealed the complex pressures reality stars face, where the boundaries between personal challenges and public expectations can blur painfully. Family impact and public scrutiny. The legal controversies and personal struggles surrounding Atz Kilcher inevitably spilled over onto his family, creating a tense and difficult environment at home. His children, particularly his son Otto Kilcher, became targets of online rumors, with false claims circulating that Otto had died. These damaging lies caused additional grief within the family, compounding the emotional challenges they already faced due to Atz's situation. Atz, deeply protective of his family's image, stood firmly by his son during this period, confronting rumors head-on and working to dispel misinformation. Yet, the relentless spotlight and media attention did not subside. Despite Atz's efforts, the Kilcher children, including Etienne and Piper, whom Atz and his wife Jane had deliberately kept away from the show's fame, continued to be drawn back into public view. Jane Kilcher, in particular, took deliberate steps to shield her children from the harsh realities of reality television.
So that really bonded us because I didn't have anybody else to talk to besides my family about being on TV or anything.
And online harassment. She spoke openly to fans about her choice to protect their privacy, sharing that Piper and Etienne only appear when they feel ready for the public eye. This protective stance earned Jane widespread support from fans who admired her prioritization of her children's well-being over media exposure. Still, the pressures on the family extended beyond online rumors. Jane faced her own personal challenges, managing the hardships of life on a remote homestead and the weight of public judgment. Her role as a registered nurse, hunter, and mother was often scrutinized, yet she remained a steadfast pillar for the family through turbulent times. The strain proved too much to reconcile, and after 17 years of marriage, Jane and Atz announced their separation. This news shocked fans and the community alike, shaking the foundation of the family's public image. Jane later revealed that infidelities and the emotional toll of Atz's legal and health struggles played a significant role in their split, adding a layer of complexity to the family narrative. Despite the breakup, Jane emphasized their shared commitment to co-parenting and maintaining peace for their children. She focused on community involvement and advocating for Alaska's traditions, channeling her strength into causes that resonated with her and offered healing. Her openness about the marriage's challenges sparked deeper conversations about the true cost of life in the public eye. Atz's personal battles and family hardships illustrate a difficult intersection between fame, privacy, and survival on and off camera. The public's fascination with his story reflects broader questions about the impacts of reality television on family dynamics, mental health, and personal identity. For the Kilchers, the road ahead is uncertain, but marked by resilience and a determination to protect what truly matters. Even amidst legal battles and family turmoil, the echoes of pain from Atz's accident and secret struggles lingered, threading their way back toward the barn's hidden revelations. The road ahead for Atz Kilcher. Atz Kilcher's journey toward recovery has been slow and demanding, marked by physical healing and emotional resilience. Months after his near-fatal fall, he continued struggling to regain strength and mobility. Though he may eventually walk unassisted again, returning to his former abilities will likely take years. This long recovery has forced him to adjust his lifestyle and confront vulnerabilities few had ever seen. The accident reshaped both his capabilities and daily routines. Tasks once instinctive, hunting, building, and homesteading, became difficult, sometimes impossible. This loss of independence weighed heavily on Atz and contributed to his withdrawal from public appearances and the show. The fearless persona fans knew shifted into someone quieter and more introspective, grappling with the uncertainties of healing. Despite these challenges, Atz stayed connected to fans through social media, sharing candid updates and messages of gratitude. His honesty revealed a new layer of humility and perseverance. The outpouring of support from viewers helped sustain him during difficult moments, creating a sense of continuity as he navigated major life changes. On the other hand, Atz's family issues provided a new load of stress. His breakup with Jane Kilcher after 17 years was an important emotional turning point, and it mirrored the effects of illness, legal battles, and media scrutiny. However, both of them still want to work together in parenting and ensuring that the kids have a stable environment, thus still showing their commitment to family despite the changing circumstances. Atz's future is uncertain, but not without hope. He is concentrating on physical healing and reassessing the steps necessary to go through a world he once approached with rock-solid confidence. The fans are observing very carefully whether he will take back certain parts of his past lifestyle on the frontier or completely create a new route for himself marked by reflection and resilience. In addition, Atz's personal life fractures were among the factors that pressed him more. His divorce from Jane Kilcher after 17 years.
My name's Jane Kilcher. Like in their formative years, or like, you don't need to watch my kids go through puberty.
Was a major emotional turning point, and it reflected the weight of illness, legal issues, and public exposure. However, the couple remained committed to co-parenting their children and providing them with a stable environment, which is an indication of their continued loyalty to family amidst the changing dynamics. Atz's destiny is not clear, yet it is brimming with optimism. He has made a conscious choice to prioritize his physical healing and consider the world differently than before, when he was always confident in himself. The fans are watching him closely and are curious if he will revert to the traits of his past, living off the land, or if he will build an entirely new way of being that is characterized by reflection and strength. Atz Kilcher's barn revealed far more than old relics. It exposed the hardships that shaped the frontier icon. Behind his rugged image are stories of painful injuries, legal struggles, and deeply personal family challenges. His journey highlights what real resilience demands and the steep price survival can carry. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe. And watch the next video shown on the screen for more powerful stories and hidden truths behind the headlines. Your support means everything.